Hi, it's Anne. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to be making some folded book page pockets for a junk journal today. I'm going to be making some that will eventually go into this little vintage office themed junk journal that I have started. And I just needed some pockets. You know, I wanted the pockets to be pretty text heavy. One of the things that I find when I'm making folded book page pockets is that you can often, unless you're really careful with how you fold things, you can end up with a lot of text upside down. And that just always irritates me. I know you can cover it up and you can cut things off and it doesn't really matter because it's a junk journal, but I just really like my text to not be upside down. So I'm going to use this as an example to show you of how we can easily avoid that problem. And then we're going to make a couple that will actually be for our little journal. I have two different methods that I'm going to show you to avoid that upside down text issue. I brought you in a little bit closer today because I want you to be able to see which way the text is going. So I'm going to be periodically checking to make certain that I'm still there. This is a piece out of a large book, again, for demonstration purposes that I'm using. But it's very, very easy to begin a book page pocket like that. I'm just going to bring, the key is to always be working with a double thickness. So I'm bringing this down here. This is the main part of the pocket. Here is our our text is going vertically, which would be okay, but I want it to be horizontal, the traditional viewing. So anyway, I'm going to be turning this over, but first I'm going to be cutting it down into a square. And because see, if I use this and just turn it, because I want to make a pocket going across the bottom of the pocket. It's a double pocket. I should have said that. But if I just turned this up, see, that text would be upside down, but I'm going to work only with the doubled over portion. So let me just bring in my aluminum ruler and we'll tear that down. And we're going to be working with the double part of the pocket. And, okay, here's our horizontal portion facing up. And then I'm going to make that little pocket across the bottom. And it is sideways, but it is not upside down. You can see we've got our vertical here, or our horizontal here, and our vertical here. I'm going to actually give this one more turn over so I can strengthen the edge of that. This works really well with dictionary pages too, because that paper is so thin. Just going to glue, have that little overlap. And let me do a little bit of inking and then we'll trim it down to size. Because you can use a large size book page with a certain amount of confidence, because it's very easy to cut it down to the size you need in your journal. I've got a lot of white margin showing there, so I think I'm going to cut some of that down. I've got several different thicknesses here, so I think it's probably time to bring in my knife instead of just tearing against my aluminum ruler. Sorry, I think I'm kind of getting off camera a little bit. Check a little bit more so make certain I have it. Yeah, but I want you to be able to see the direction of that text. And let's snip this off. And we'll ink there. Very, very simple little double pocket. Without the issue of the upside down upside down text. So double thickness for a double pocket. And how cute is this? We can, you know, something can go in there, something can go in there. It's going to fit very nicely, I think, on a journal page. It's maybe just a little bit big, but sometimes I really like with some of these triangular corner pockets to not have that corner be quite so pointy. It looks just great if it's trimmed off a little bit as well. So easy, right? So easy. Just always working with that double thickness. Let's make one for the Vintage Office Journal. I'm going to use a slightly smaller page, and I have some, these are pages from an old dictionary that I have coffee dyed. And if you're looking for, if you're interested in some sort of, you know, business or office related scenario for your journal, look in the backs of those dictionaries, because you can get just some really nice text about business law, business math, writing business letters, contract wordings, and things like that. Something that's appropriate for a journal with this kind of a theme in the backs of those old dictionaries. We don't often, I don't spend a lot of time reading all the way to the back of my dictionaries, but anyway, this dyed up really nicely with coffee, and I'm going to make one a pocket just like the one I just made. So I'm going to just turn that down, and we're going to be making that square. It's vertical here, but here it's horizontal. But this is opening on the left. If I wanted to be making one that was opening on the right, I just turn it the other way. It's vertical, that's going to be the back. And there's our horizontal main portion. So I think I'm going to stick with that. It's a little uneven on this side, so I'll put a little glue stick there and we'll trim that up later. I'm not going to bother to put glue on the entire backing portion. There we go. So that's ready. Now I can cut off my bottom and a little bit of that margin. There we go. Now I've got a double thickness all the way through. I think I'm going to cut off this uneven edge here as well while I'm at it, so I can be sizing appropriately. There we go. And I might not want to fold over that edge. I think I'm just going to go with the double thickness. So I'm going to glue those double thicknesses together like that. Okay, now we're all oriented the way that we want. Just a little bit of ink here. Yeah, I really have had fun putting things together for this vintage office journal, and even things like, you know, the embellishments, you know, any kind of metal, you know, doing things with staples and paper clips and brads. And I think it's going to be a really fun little journal when I'm finished with it. So I'm going to be using that in several upcoming videos for some of the techniques that I'm exploring. All right, now back to our facing up pocket. And we're just going to turn it up from the bottom. And we've got our sideways text, which I do not find unsettling at all. And I like having a double pocket there. Snip that off. Now let's see how it fits. I think I am going to glue this down on that side and on this side. There we go. I think that looks great. Now let's pull in our journal and see if we need to snip off a corner or two, which is perfectly all right to do. On the signature cover, this is just a little one signature journal, and it is going to be mostly neutral tones, but I have a little burst of color every once in a while. I want an occasional floral because in vintage offices, guess what? People would have had flowers on their desks that they would have brought in from their gardens at home, most likely. A little bit of fabric, because there, would have been a little bit of color from some of their outfits there, but for the most part, neutrals. I was lucky to have a couple of old typing manuals that I got some of these original diagrams of typewriters. I did some stenciling here. This stencil, I think it was intended to be like bricks or something like that, but to me it kind of looked like a city map. It looked really, really urban where lots of offices might be. Anyway, let's go ahead and look, that's going to just fit. That's going to be just fine. Yeah, I'm going to use it just like this. But let's decorate and make another journal first. I mean another pocket. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to look at the other technique that can help you avoid upside down text. These are some smaller pages that I think will fit pretty well on these. Yes, that'll be fine. And these are pages out of a shorthand dictionary. Several viewers, I've talked about this the shorthand dictionary previously, and several viewers have said, "Oh gosh, I went to stenographer school and learned shorthand back in the day," and oh my gosh, I've said this before. I just honestly don't know. I don't know how you did it. Look at those tiny little pieces. Little inscriptions of words. If you were trying to take shorthand from the boss dictating something to you. Very, very mysterious to me. Anyway, let's use these as a pocket, and this is. We're going to have a pocket that's taking up, it's a fold up pocket. Anyway, I will just show you what it looks like. The key to this one, I have 2 pages here, and I'm going to turn one upside down. I want this this printed or coffee stain side showing. So I have 2 that are, stacked up next to each other, right side up. And I'm going to turn one over, and then I'm going to turn it upside down. So let's glue these together. And again, we're going to be working with a double thickness. And the moisture here. Okay, here's the one that's upside down. And here's the one that's right side up. I'll just glue them. Glue them together so we have a double thickness. And we can use really this whole page. I just did took some ink and some coffee and used the top of my glue stick to make those little simulations of coffee cups. And there I'm going to turn this up to make the pocket. And look, they're both right side up. I love doing that. And it's just, they're thin enough pages that it makes sense to use a couple thicknesses anyway. I might punch a little notch in here. There we go. Yeah, the Shorthand dictionary is endlessly fascinating to me. And because these edges are both torn, they don't line up 100% on top of one another, but I'm okay with that. There we go. And that can go into our journal just like that. There we go. And I didn't quite glue down to the corners well enough, so I came back in with some of my art glitter glue to finish that up. I'm not going to do anything else to that, I don't think. Let's see where we might want to put this one. I kind of like this page where I've already added some numbers there. Truthfully, this was a coffee dyed teacher's lesson plan thing. I didn't want lesson plan. I didn't want to go the academic route, but I like the whole, calendar planner sort of thing. So I just got these, took this list of numbers out and put that there to cover up the academic print. Yeah, I think I'm going to just put that down there. And then we'll look at our decorations and see if we want to put anything else on this one. Sometimes I don't like to over decorate pockets because I feel like whatever I put in there, I kind of want that to have the visual, do the visual work of the page. So let's see, I have a few tags over here. Where was one? This was one I kind of liked. Yes, I think I'm going to leave this just like it is. I'm going to put a little bit of twine there. But I think I like that just like it is because I don't want a whole lot of color. I don't want color on every page. I want it sort of interspersed throughout, and to have it be, sort of like this with a little bit of fabric, or a little bit of floral, sort of simulating what they might have had on their desks. I maybe could put a little fabric in that tag there. Let me see what I've got over here. I have this one tiny little scrap that kind of looks, I think I'm going to even it up, but I think that kind of looks like it could have been it's actually off of an old shirt, but that looks like that could sort of fit this sort of mid-century vibe we've got, but when I call this vintage office, I mean, I have some documents I've put in here that are all the way back to the 20s, but truthfully, the look I'm going for more is a little more mid-century. We'll just see how it works out. It's going to be a mix of both. It can honor the office workers of multiple decades, I guess. Let's see if this is too wide to go here. Kind of liked the neutral colors of this one. And I'm going to be able to repeat this a lot because I think I still have most of that shirt there. Yeah, that's nice. Let's put this here, and I will to weight that down. And what kind of a thread do I have to tie that down? This ought to work. Just helps to put a little something heavy on top of a tag when you're finishing off the ties there. There we go. This This photograph, this is from an old college yearbook that I was lucky enough to receive at a collage night. I don't know, it's been a couple of years ago now, but so this was actually a faculty member. She would have been working largely in the classroom or the lab, but she had a real officey sort of look there. So get the other bit of that coming up corner. I think I'm loving that page a lot. Now let's use our other pocket that we have here and get that put down somewhere. And we'll see, I want to leave some space for journaling. I want to leave a lot of space for journaling, actually. Why don't I put this one here, and then I'll find something to put in there. These are just so easy to use. I have a couple of tags, but I might want to do a little bit of decorating down here. It's my tag situation here. I don't have quite as many as I thought. And this, let's see if that'll work. That's kind of nice. I don't mind a little burst of color, but do you know what? I don't like this dish towel fabric that I have there. So I think I'm going to take that out, and maybe I'll just come back in with more of this shirting. Spending more time on the tags than I did on the pockets that they go in, but that's okay. It's all part of the project. And we'll weight this down. One of my viewers had a really wonderful vintage office journal that she did after we started talking about the file folders a while back. And oh, it's so cute. She's has an Etsy shop. It's sold, but you might want to see the description. I hope it'll be okay with her if I put that link in. So look in the description box below. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better there. So let's get that in there. Hopefully you were able to see that. And here's a little tag that could go in there. But do you know what? I realized I put that topper, which is a little bit of just scrunched up book page. I put that on this scrapbook paper, and that text is upside down. So, you know, no wonder it doesn't look right to me. I'm going to take this off, and we'll reuse that. I should have been looking more closely when I put this little, stapled that little ruffle on there. Now, what can I use there? I think I can just use another little piece of this text. Or, do you know what might be nice? I have some little bits and pieces that I've been collecting here. Yeah, new rational typewriting. Yes, I like that. Get a little glue on the back of this. This is just a piece of cellophane tape that, or Scotch tape that I used to pick some text up off of that typewriting textbook. Now, this little pleated ruffle, that's going to go on the correct side this time. There we go. And I've got that staple there. I really like using little bits of staples in this. And should I put, I feel like I want another little focal point there. This is something I cut out of a collage book. Does that look creepy? Do you know, I don't think it does. I think it looks kind of intriguing. It makes me think, you know, these workers in these vintage offices, whether it was early 20th century or mid-century, they saw everything. They noticed everything. So the eyes are there. Let's just put that there. Looks like a woman's eye. Not much is going to get past her, either in her job or in the intrigue of the office. All right, this should fit in there. And then let's decide, do we want to have a little something on here? I like these number strips. What I do with them? I had some over here. I thought, oh, I'll tear one off. Oh, here they are, here they are. These are these number strips you've seen me use many times before from an old parts catalog. Numbers are just interesting. And they are going to be going sideways. And see if I can get that torn to match up with that slanted edge of my corner pocket. Ugh, it's sticking to my... There we go. I think this is going to be airing on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day at an office was always a fraught experience, was it not? Some people got flowers, some people did not. I always remember that old episode of The Office. That wasn't vintage, that was early mid-aughts, of course, but there was a Valentine's Day episode where Phyllis, was it Phyllis, was getting so many flowers, and she was all smug and wonderful and happy because her boyfriend that owned the air conditioning company just sent her many, many flowers. I think that was in that episode. I don't know. I'm not remembering. Anyway, there is one of our folded book page pockets, a double pocket that looks just great in this vintage office journal. We're going to be making more things for this, and we're going to be keeping a special eye out to make certain that our text is always right side up, because that's how this gal would have it, I'm quite sure. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you soon.